All right, good evening. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education. Do I have a motion to open the meeting? Therese, second. Allison, all in favor? All right, we're going to jump out into executive session to discuss some personnel matters. Do I have a motion to go to exec section? Allison, second. Therese, all in favor? Okay, we'll come back out at 7:30 for the public meeting. Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education. We actually already opened the meeting at 6:30 and went to executive session. And now we're back, so we don't need to open again. So our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next up, we have some student representatives. Did you want to take over for that?
Yes, I'm going to come up here because I'm going to introduce them and then they're going to shake your hands. And say, very special students we have here tonight. Wait, I have to go to the microphone, sorry. So what I was saying is we have very special students here tonight and I would like to introduce them to the community and to the board. First, we have a valedictorian and salutatorian to honor tonight. So first, I would like to introduce, so I'm going to talk about you, then you could go shake everybody's hand and get the applause. First, I'd like to introduce the salutatorian. Cameron Lee has earned the honor of salutatorian through his remarkable dedication, leadership, and a true passion for learning. He will be attending Binghamton University this fall, where he plans to pursue a degree in engineering with a strong interest in biomedical engineering. He said he wanted to do this because his father is also an engineer, and he really wants to make a difference in the lives of people who would benefit from this. Though he won't officially declare his major until sophomore year, his drive and curiosities have already set the foundation for a promising future in this field. Cameron's interest in engineering was sparked at a very young age, again, with his father, who's a mechanical engineer, whose examples showed him the power of innovation and problem solving. That early curiosity has since grown into a full-fledged pursuit. Cameron will be completing his senior internship with Mr. Cooper at Tuckahoe High School, where he will assist in the classroom, gaining valuable hands-on experience and further developing his skills in real-world educational setting. Academically, Cameron has distinguished himself as a consistent, high-achieving, earning the principal's list throughout his entire high school career. He is a proud member of the National Honor Society and the newly established Spanish Honor Society, reflecting both his academic excellence and his dedication to service. He was also awarded the prestigious Junior RIT Computing and Science Award and competed in the Science Olympiad, Chemistry Olympiad, further showcasing his strong STEM aptitude. Beyond the classroom, Cameron is a standout leader and a well-rounded individual. He is the varsity captain for the spring track and field team, where he competes in the 100 millimeter, the 200 meters, 200 meter, and 4x100 relay. During the winter season, he's a member of the bowling team, and in the fall, he balances schools and sports with a part-time job at Task. He is also deeply involved in the school community, participating in a wide range of clubs, including the Investment Club, Tigers Helping Tigers, Science Olympiad, Chess Club, and the Engineering Club. As co-president of the Fuller Center, and again, that's the Habitat for Humanity, it used to be called, so you understand what it is, Cameron exemplifies leadership and compassion, working to serve others and make a positive impact. Cameron Lee's balance of academic excellence, leadership, and service is a true reflection of his character and his potential. We are proud to recognize him as this year's salutatorian and excited to see all that he will accomplish in the years to come. Let's hear it for him. And please be honored and recognized. You can go. We're very proud of you.
Congratulations, it's awesome.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Now we have our valedictorian, Jocelyn Edelstein. Congratulations to our 2025 valedictorian, Jocelyn Edelstein. Jocelyn is a dynamic and driven student with a deep passion for computer science. Her commitment to the field is evident not only in her academic achievements, but also in her extracurricular pursuits. She has taken part in summer tech program at SUNY Purchase and is a dedicated member of our school's coding club, where she continues to refine the programming skills she has largely taught herself first as a hobby. Her love for technology is matched by her creativity and her curiosity, which she also expresses through her involvement in theater and images, the Tuckahoe High School literary magazine. Jocelyn is equally at home in the world of STEM and the arts. She is a proud participant in Science Olympiad and volunteers as a judge for our school's debate team, demonstrating her leadership and support for her peers. She is also a member of the National Honor Society and the Italian Honor Society and participates in the Robotics Club, Web Design, Engineering, Debate, and Coding clubs. Jocelyn has played a crucial role in running the Robotics Club. Her leadership skills and initiative have been instrumental in organizing events, guiding team members, and driving projects forward. She possesses a rare blend of creativity and technical proficiency, which has greatly enhanced the club's success. Jocelyn is a consistent high achiever, having received numerous academic awards throughout her school years. In her free time, she is an avid reader of science fiction and fantasy and continues to explore new coding languages and tech projects just for fun. Her natural curiosity, strong work ethic, and positive energy makes her an outstanding student and member of our school community. Jocelyn plans on attending RIT, where she plans to pursue a degree in RPI, where she plans to pursue a degree in computer science. RPI has a reputation for academic rigor and innovation, and is often a top choice for students interested in the STEM career. We are excited for Jocelyn to continue growing as a learner, creator, and a leader, and we're expecting to hear great things about you through college and your career. Thank you, Jocelyn, and congratulations. Now, of course, for our two high-achieving students, you can go home and study. Thank you very much, and great congratulations. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was great. Impressive kids. All right, so next up is our budget development presentation. So you guys are in for a treat. You're gonna get to listen to a really exciting budget presentation. Sorry about that. It's very exciting.
You're hurting face.
Yeah, we're gonna come sit over here so we could.
Okay. Okay, so it is exciting, and it's a little long, but it's not as long as the last time, and I promise every time we'll get a little shorter, but it is. This is not the last time. This is the budget adaptation tonight. Okay, so first we'd like to start with thanking everybody for coming today. Good evening, board trustees, faculty, families, and community members. Tonight we present a refined view of the proposed 2025-2026 budget, building on the conversations we began at our previous meetings. We'll review key updates and spotlight the priorities that continue to guide our work. The budget reflects thoughtful alignment of our values, strategy, and collaboration. It remains grounded in our commitment to academic excellence, student well-being, and responsible financial planning, ensuring that every student is supported on their plan to success. I want to thank Dr. Keough for his instructional leadership and Ms. Sparks for her stewardship of financial framework that supports both long and short-term goals. Thank you also to Ms. Bauer for her continued insight about special education services. Our administrative team, Mr. Morash, Mr. Clegalen, Mr. Arthur, Mr. Calaswano, and Mr. DeBellis have been essential, and they provided great input for us, particularly around ensuring that students' needs are met and school safety remains front and center. We're also grateful for the continued support of our PTA and Athletic Council, who help enrich the students' experiences beyond the classroom. And of course, thank you to our board, who guide us, and our families for your ongoing guidance also, encouragement, and partnership. The budget represents more than just numbers. It represents the collective vision of a community dedicated to ensuring that every student is prepared for the future.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. What just happened?
Chris, you just happened to be here tonight, and look what happens.
I'm sorry.
This is the first time it happened, but because we have Chris here, we're very happy that he can help us with this. Okay, thank you. I don't know what we would do without you. Next slide.
There we go.
Our district remains committed to the mission that guides everything we do, empowering every student with the knowledge, skills, and opportunities they need to succeed in a constantly evolving world. This mission comes to life through the following core goals: academic excellence. We're focused on raising student achievement and building a strong foundation for future success in college careers and as active, informed citizens. Community engagement. We continue to strengthen the connections between our schools, families, and the wider community to better support our students' learning and overall well-being. And fiscal responsibility. We are committed to maintaining a sustainable financial plan that puts students' needs first while securing the district's long-term stability. This proposed budget is a direct reflection of these priorities. Every investment we're making is designed to move us closer to our vision for student success and the continued growth of our district. At the heart of our proposed budget are 3 pillars, each rooted in the framework outlined in our district strategic plan. In our last strategic update, we discussed the evolution of professional learning, not as a standalone priority, but as an essential driver embedded across all areas, all focus areas. The concept is fully integrated into this budget. In summary, this updated structure reframes our priorities from how educators teach to how students learn and grow. And with professional learning now embedded as a lever across all areas, we are well positioned to deliver meaningful, sustained impact. As you know, the points of pride is something that we take great pride in. And what makes Tuckahoe so unique is all that you see on the screen and more. It's more than a school district. It's a community defined by excellence, innovation, and deep-rooted connection. The strengths you see highlighted here reflect what makes our district truly a special place to learn and grow. At the center of our success are our remarkable faculty and staff. Their dedication creates a culture where students feel seen, supported, and inspired to reach their highest potential. Our thriving fine and performing arts programs speak to our beliefs in nurturing the whole child. These opportunities allow students to express themselves creatively and enrich the fabric of our school community. We are also proud to be a technology-forward district, offering one-to-one ratio devices for students kindergarten through 12th grade. Combined with our innovation lab and robust STEAM offerings, our students gain hands-on experience in the skills that will drive tomorrow's workforce. Tuckahoe is also ahead of the curve when it comes to artificial intelligence in education. Our teachers are receiving targeted training in AI school tools, helping them personalize instruction while ensuring ethical and thoughtful use. It's one more way we're preparing students for a world that is rapidly changing. Our vibrant extracurricular program and community service opportunities empower students to lead, collaborate, and contribute. These experiences develop character as much as competence. We recognize and respect the diversity of learners across all our schools. Our full continuum of special education programs ensure that every student receives the support they need to thrive. Literacy continues to be a main focus. Our research-based programs like Wilson's Foundations and Orton-Gillingham Strategies guiding our approach. These tools strengthen the foundational skills essential for long-term success in reading and writing. Safety remains a top priority. With the support of our school resource officer and continuing district-wide enhancement, we continue to build a safe, secure learning environment for all. Our student athletes continue to make us proud, excelling not only in competition but also in the classroom. Many are celebrated as scholar athletes, proof that academic and athletic excellence go hand in hand. And we remain committed to early childhood education. Even with the limited grant support, we've expanded our universal pre-K program. As you know, we put it at Cottle because we understand how crucial these early years are for students and families alike. These initiatives reflect who we are, a district driven by innovation, care, and a belief in the boundless potential of every learner. Let the Tuckahoe pride shine on. This slide celebrates the exceptional accomplishments of our students across academics, the arts, athletics, and service. These achievements are a reflection of their determination, their support of our wonderful faculty, and the nurturing environment we've cultivated as a district. Academically, our students continue to set the ball high, collectively earning nearly $8 million in scholarships, a powerful indicator of their potential and the quality of instruction and guidance they receive. This year, students have been named National Merit Finalists, placing them among scholars in the country. Our Science Olympiad program is amazing, and our middle and high school teams have made impressive showings across multiple categories, while our debate program continues to gain momentum with students excelling in competitions, and we are hosting events that bring together top talents from across the region. Our integrated cross-curricular efforts have brought new life to the intersection of technology, science, music, and art, resulting in impressive projects that build creativity with academic rigor. Beyond the classroom, our students have distinguished themselves in athletics, the arts, and extracurriculars. And in athletics, they have earned all-league, all-conference, all-section, and even state and national recognition. Their dedication and talent continue to inspire us. Our students also give back through a range of service clubs, making meaningful contributions that build character and community. In the arts, our students participate in NYSSMA, and our theater productions have been standout successes, showcasing not only skill, but passion and commitment. Whether students are exploring design and art club, lending a hand for Habitat for Humanity, or diving into STEM experiences, they are expanding their horizon and leading with purpose. These milestones aren't just impressive, they tell the story of a district where students are encouraged to grow, explore, and thrive. They reflect our belief in the whole child education and our mission to help each student make a meaningful impact in the world. These are some of the highlights of the colleges our students have been accepted to for 2025, and they tell a powerful story. As I said last time, this year has been the most competitive college admission cycles that I remember, and everybody is talking about it across the region. Acceptance rates have dropped across the board at many schools, not just the most selective institutions, but also at strong mid-range schools. Despite these challenges, our students have earned top spots at impressive range of colleges and universities, a testament to their persistence and passion. What's important to recognize is that the success didn't happen overnight. It's a result of a K-12 effort of all of our teachers and all of our staff and our parents. From the earliest grade through graduation, our teachers and staff have been helping students build the skills, confidence, and character they need to thrive. Our guidance counselors have worked closely with students throughout their career and with each student in high school through the application process, offering strategic advice and continued support. And while we're proud to celebrate students attending highly selective schools, we're equally proud of those who have found the right fit college where they'll continue to grow and succeed. Every acceptance shown here represents a journey of effort, growth, and accomplishment. Whether it's a nationally ranked university, a specialized program, or a school that perfectly matches a student's goal and interest, we're proud of them all. This speaks volumes, not just about individual achievement, but also the strength of Tuckahoe students, their parents, and the community as a whole. Let's now review the highlights of the proposed budget, which were also shared during previous budget presentations. And this is not the last one, but we're getting there. As we shape the 25-26 budget, enhancing school safety remains a central focus. I want to extend my appreciation to our administrative team, Board of Education, and members of the Safety Committee, including representatives from Eastchester and Tuckahoe Police Departments and our security consultants at Alteris, our parents, our board members that are on that committee, and our teachers for their thoughtful input and collaboration. And of course, I also want to thank Scott DeBellis, that helps me very much lead that committee. A key investment we're continuing is a $50,000 annual transfer to the capital project, which allows us to launch the first phase of a 3-year plan to modernize the security camera system at the middle and high school. I also want to thank the board because they have also been asking about our security cameras for a long time, and other board members who were on the safety committee too, such as Pete Casson. This phased approach ensures we can methodically improve camera coverage, replace outdated equipment, and strengthen the overall effectiveness and reliability of our security infrastructure. Additionally, we're increasing our monitor staffing by 0.4 FTE, enhancing on-site supervision without any additional impact on the overall budget. These strategic investments reflect our continued commitment to students and staff safety, and they demonstrate how thoughtful planning and collaboration can support a secure learning environment while remaining fiscally responsible. We also transferred $50,000 to Special Aid Fund for mandated special education in ESY, up $5,000 over the current year, a $5,000 transfer to School Lunch Fund, a reduction of $15,000 from the current year. Investing in what's next, teaching, learning, and innovation. As we look ahead, our 25-26 budget makes strategic investments that support both immediate instructional needs and long-term academic growth. These initiatives reflect our commitment to a continuous improvement and preparing students for a rapidly changing world. Professional learning and instructional support. We continue to advance district-wide implementation of universal design for learning and multi-tiered systems of support, ensuring all students receive personalized, effective instruction from kindergarten through 12th grade. We're also thoughtfully integrating AI tools such as Magic School, AI, Brisk, and ChatGPT to support educators with lesson planning, differentiation, and instructional design. Our investment in reading intervention remains strong with continued support for Wilson Academy, Wade, RTC books, and OG Star, all focused on boosting literacy outcomes for all learners. This is part of a district-wide commitment to support multi-tier systems of support, MTSS model. We are using a suite of high-quality tools, Wilson Academy, Wade, RFC books, and OG Star, to unify our approach to reading intervention across all the grade levels. Together, these tools give our teachers a unified system to access, instruct, and monitor students' progress in reading throughout the years. As many staff are trained across buildings, we are creating a common language and consistent framework to support literacy growth at every grade level, ensuring no learner falls through the cracks. In terms of curriculum and course development, we're proud to launch a new research skills in civics course at the middle school, helping students work towards the civic seal of readiness while building research and critical thinking skills. Our advanced placement program continues to grow with the addition of AP cybersecurity and which supports digital literacy and future-ready skills, an AP seminar now offered in English 10 to strengthen students' argument and research abilities. Supporting for the arts, our partnership with the music consultant continues to guide vertical alignment across grade levels, while tools like Make Music are enhancing instruction, performance, and assessment in music theory. Together, these forward-facing initiatives empower our educators, expand student opportunities, and ensure our instructional program continues to evolve with purpose and impact. Other budget priorities and strategic partnerships that we're doing. So we're investing in strategic partnerships and enrichment opportunities that enhance student engagement and deepen learning across content areas. Our strategic partnerships, we have a collaboration with Open Civics, which supports the implementation of Civic Seal of Readiness, helping students build civic knowledge and leadership skills. We'll be participating with the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival to bring teaching artists into the language arts classroom, enriching instruction through performance-based learning. We continue to expand access to engaging interactive schools like Breakout EDU, a game-based platform promoting collaboration and critical thinking, and GimKit, a highly popular review game that boosts engagement in our middle and high school classrooms. In terms of instructional materials and licenses, we are renewing our 3-year license with Savas Math, ensuring continued coherence and rigor in math from kindergarten through grade 8. For AP Cybersecurity, the new class, we're allocating funds for simulation equipment and related technology to create a more hands-on, career-connected learning experience. Additionally, we are investing in BioZone for AP Environmental Science, a resource that provides students with global case studies, a real-world data analysis, and science literacy practice. These investments reflect our commitment to enriching the curriculum, supporting innovative instruction, and providing students with tools they need to succeed in school and beyond. Budget priority, enriching students' experiences through extracurriculars. A priority in the 2025-26 budget is continued support for exciting enrichment opportunities that inspire creativity, collaboration, and student growth beyond the classroom. Poetry Pals. At WEC, Poetry Pals gives students a space to explore creative expression through poetry and language. It's a way to foster a love for words and writing at an early age. Kids Who Code. This club empowers our 3rd through 5th graders with foundational coding skills. It's not just about technology, it's about building confidence, critical thinking, and creative problem solving. The Coddle Newsstand. Through this newsstand, students will step into the role of young journalists, researching, writing, and publishing a school newspaper that builds storytelling and communication skills in a fun way. Music Club, Our Before School Music Club supports band, chorus, and string students with additional rehearsing time, helping them strengthen their performance skills and prepare for upcoming conferences. Model UN, I'm so excited about for Tuckahoe High School, offering high school students hands-on experience in global diplomacy, public speaking, and international relations through UN simulations. And the debate club, we're having an assistant advisor. As you know, we expanded the debate club last year to the high school and expanding support for the growing debate club, and they're doing great, our high school level debate team, by adding an assistant coach to enhance coaching quality and student engagement, and we're very excited about that. Okay, enhancing student experience through athletics. This is a change. Again, it's not going to make a different budget impact than the last presentation, but we are looking, I know the board was very interested in us doing a part-time strength and conditioning coach to our athletic program. And if you remember from the last board meeting, you were like, can you do that for the same amount of money of the other program that we were putting in, which was the track program, another track program, and I was saying, no, we can't, it's going to be so expensive, but Mr. Calasano has figured out a way to do that within our budget, and I know that that's something that the board, and I'm sure the parents really want, and this will be a support for all student athletes across sport and season. While this is a new position, not really a position, it's going to be stipended, only a portion of the course will be additional to the budget, as the remainder will be covered through the reallocation of existing funds. So the amount that we put in the last budget will be the same amount, but we're able to do it with that. Previously, we had, again, indoor track addition, but as the board comments, we changed it to the strength and conditioning coach. The proposal directly reflects the strong interest that the board expressed, and we have heard that from our community also following our athletic board presentation. Adding this position will ensure that every team has access to a certified professional who will develop and oversee targeted sport-specific training programs, enhancing performance, and most importantly, preventing injuries. This is an investment in the long-term health, success, and development of our student athletes, and one that will bring meaningful value to our entire school community. Again, so the change is, instead of having the track position, we're going with the strength and conditioning coach for the same amount of money, but we just wanted to make sure we were listening to you. Another key priority for the 25-26 budget is our technology upgrades, which total $425,000 spread over 5 years, with a net budget impact of $77,425, thanks to offset savings from the retirement of our current IPA. This investment, again, you know, is critical because we need to replace end-of-life desktop computers. These devices are not compatible with Windows 11, and once supported for Windows 10 ends, they will pose a significant security risk for the district. We also need to replace aging network switches, which are the backbone of our district connectivities. These switches are no longer supported by the manufacturer, which increases the risk of network failures and security vulnerabilities, something we simply can't afford when so much of our destruction and operations depend on reliable access. In addition, we're purchasing 300 Chromebooks as part of the regular replacement cycle. These devices are essential for supporting instruction and online learning tools and ensure the students have continued access to reliable technology in the classroom, ensuring our students and staff have the tools they need to thrive in a modern learning environment. Okay, so this slide summarizes the total costs of the budget priorities that we have already, with the change, except for the conditioning coach that we've already discussed, and the projected cost of all of that is on this slide. And that's what I've talked about so far. We do have a budget update, though, so we're going to take a moment to review updates and changes since we last met. As we move through the upcoming slides, we will walk you through the key adjustments that have been made. These updates reflect our ongoing efforts to ensure the budget aligns with our district goals, responds to evolving needs, and remains fiscally responsible. So let's dive into the details. These are the two significant updates to the proposed budget since we last met. First is the changes to staffing. We are now proposing the addition of an additional reading intervention at Cottle Elementary School to support our students' literacy development. And we are doing that because we have, number one, heard from the board, number two, heard from the community, number three, heard from our elementary principal and our director of instruction. And we know that the board, that, this is a district that's so focused on reading that we are going to make that addition. And I think it will give kids more individualization and also give them the groups will be matched to their skills, and students will also have more access to reading intervention, period, going from 2 to 3, and changes to debt service. These have been adjustment to debt service related expenses and revenues, which will be reflected in the updated budget. I'll explain again both of these in more detail. So in addition to the reading intervention at Cottle School, we are proposing to add this position again, as I said, to strengthen our multi-tier support program, particularly in the fundamentals of reading literacy. And it will support core instruction too, because it also supports level 1 students in the classroom. Now, expected impact, again, is, as I said, more individualized attention for struggling readers, increased capacity for data-driven intervention, and strong early literacy foundation for all students. Now, number 2, I will have Faith explain that, the bond anticipation notes.
So the other substantial change since we last met was the recent sale of our bond anticipation notes. On April 9th, we planned to sell short-term and long-term bonds, which happened to be one of the most volatile days on the market. So I'm sure everyone's seen this on the news. After our initial results, which were way worse than we could have ever anticipated, we quickly pivoted and strategized with our fiscal advisors and the board and Dr. Goodman to sell all of our debt as short-term. So we were originally selling some long-term and some short-term. While we did not, even with that, yield the results that we initially budgeted and hoped for, we were able to leverage our very strong credit rating in our favor. The change in the municipal bond markets and rates were not good, so we did take on more interest than we had originally budgeted for. But on the other end, we did get a substantial premium for our bonds, which means a revenue coming in next year to offset some of that money. So again, our strong credit rating resulted us in receiving this additional revenue. So all of these factors, the increase in debt service and the revenue, all had an impact on the budget for next year and the tax cap. So we'll walk you through that. Here you will see the proposed revenue changes. This slide shows a change in our tax cap, which I will review. We are proposing now a tax levy of $32,660,950, which is up $32,000 from the last time we met. However, you will see on the A5031 line that we are receiving next year $159,961 in revenue premiums on the debt we sold. That's really thanks to our strong credit rating. So it's even on the worst day, we did pretty good. So, and we are able, with this new revenue, and we are able to lower appropriated fund balance by $50,000. This chart, you could see the changes from when we last presented on the expenditure side. So you will see in the second line, which is instruction, the A2000 categories, we do increase it $100,000 for the additional position. And you will see an increase in the debt service line, the 99700s, where we increase it for the additional debt service we will have to pay next year. So overall, from when we last met, it's up $142,685 on both sides. This chart shows where we were at our last meeting on the left-hand side, and then where we are today. Our proposed tax levy is a 2.57% increase, or $818,818. Go out and play those numbers, 818. And a budget-to-budget increase of 5.33%. Our proposed budget is $44,022,385. And again, this is all tax levy. The tax levy is tax cap compliant. So our now we will walk you through the line by line of the 25-26 proposed updated expenditures, not in as much detail as we had in the last meetings. The only changes here is instruction and debt service, but this is a summary of all our functions, which when our budget book comes out, there will be a lot of detail. I think you guys will really find a lot of information in there that goes through each function and what they mean. So this is a summary of the proposed expenditures for next year. And this is the same proposed expenditures, just in a different format. So the last chart was by function, and this breaks it down even further by object. So it's in each function are we spending on? Are we spending on salaries, equipment? So it goes into more detail. It's the same pie, just broken up differently. And when we look at this as a pie chart, you can see the majority of our expenditures are salaries and benefits. Debt service makes up another piece, contractual services, and then we have our transportation and BOCES. So now when we go through the details of our proposed revenues, this is our updated line-by-line revenue budget. This includes the changes that we referenced before, the new tax levy, the reduced appropriated fund balance, and the increase in revenue for debt service, which is in the interfund transfers line. So all in all, this is our new tax cap calculation, and you'll see I circled in red on the chart the number that changed from our previous calculation. That's our capital exclusion. We are allowed to exclude debt for capital purposes, net of building aid. So when we went out and we sold those bonds and everything changed, we had to go back and revise this number. It did have an impact on it. So our maximum allowable is lower. Before, it was a maximum allowable of 2.94. We were only going to 2.47, but given the changes, we are now going up to the cap at 2.57%. This chart shows a history of the tax levy since the inception of the tax cap. You can see in years where actual inflation is much higher than 2%, the formula limits us to a 2% factor in the calculation, and our levy tends to run below inflation. On average, the levy since the inception of the cap, our average is 2.04%. This is just the pie chart of our proposed revenues. The majority, 74% of our revenues, come from real property taxes, and then the rest is next is state aid, and then we have non-resident tuition is a big part of our revenues. We have pilots and sales tax, some miscellaneous revenues, and then appropriated fund balance to bridge the gap. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the proposition that will be on the ballot. It's the Repair Reserve Fund proposition, and it has no budget or tax impact. So we're continuing the discussion of a proposition that will be on the ballot on May 20th. This vote does not ask taxpayers for any new money. Instead, we are seeking voter approval to transfer funds from our unreserved, unappropriated fund balance into the Repair Reserve Fund, which was established last year. This is about forward-thinking financial planning, ensuring we are prepared for future repairs and unexpected needs, all while maintaining stability and avoiding additional costs to our taxpayers. As part of our commitment to responsible financial planning, we are asking voters to cast their vote on the transfer of $650,000 from our unreserved, unappropriated fund balance into the Repair Reserve. So we're asking them to approve just the transfer of funds from one reserve to another. The reserve was established last year to set aside funds specifically for future maintenance and repairs of our school facilities. It allows us to proactively plan for necessary repairs rather than reacting to unexpected issues, which can often and usually are more costly. This proposal has been reviewed with the Finance Committee, ensuring it aligns with our long-term financial strategy and best practices for maintaining our school buildings. By making this transfer, we're reinforcing our commitment to keeping our facilities in good condition while preserving financial stability. And again, there is no tax impact to this proposition. So we're not asking for any additional money, and it doesn't have any budget impact. I know this sounds repetitive, but this is really good planning. We're not asking for any new money from the taxpayers. It's just really a transfer from one fund to another to allow us to use this for repairs that do not occur on an annual basis. We have aging buildings, especially this middle school, high school, which is a beautiful building on the National Historic Registry, and we don't want to address situations as an emergency, and having this will allow us to plan for this.
Our proposed budget for the upcoming year strikes a careful balance between providing a high-quality education and maintaining fiscal responsibility. We work through a range of revenue limitations and rising costs, focusing on how to make the most of every dollar to support our students, staff, and community. Even with ongoing uncertainties, the budget reflects a thoughtful, strategic approach that keeps our commitment to educational excellence at the forefront. As we close tonight's presentation, I want to emphasize that this proposed budget is more than just numbers. It's a strategic plan designed to uphold our commitment to excellence while adapting to evolving needs. Since our last meeting, key updates have been made, including the addition of the reading interventionist at Cottle to support foundational literacy and the adjustments to debt service following our recent bond sale. The budget invests in what matters. It supports academic enhancements through the introduction of new high school courses, expansion of enrichment programs like our Shakespeare offerings, and growth in the arts. We are strengthening professional development to ensure our educators have the tools they need to foster innovative and engaging classrooms. In addition, we are prioritizing critical upgrades to our technology infrastructure, replacing aging devices and network components that pose security risks so that every student has access to reliable, modern tools for learning. Safety and security remain central with continued investment in surveillance systems and monitoring. This budget reflects the values of our district and the voices of our community, designed to support growth, ensure equity, and position us for a strong and sustainable future. I would also like to thank again the administration, of course Faith, Mr. Keough, also for the instructional budget, and all our principals. And I'd also like to thank our guidance department, who helped us with planning a lot of changes in their schedule for middle and high school students as we were juggling other additions that could have had an impact on the budget. But through collaboration and careful planning, we were able to do that within our proposed budget. So, you thought it was over, but it's not. We have all these important dates. Look how many we've gotten through. Our next one is April 29th, 2025, which is a budget review. And then May 5th will be our budget hearing, and the most important date to mark your calendar is May 20, 2025, the annual budget vote and trustee election. Again, May 20th, 2025, annual vote and trustee election. Thank you for being with us this evening. Again, I really want to thank our Board of Education, too. I know I thanked everybody else, but they really do guide us in our budget development and our student success. We welcome your questions and comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Great job, really informative. And as always,
Wasn't as long, right?
It was not as long.
Okay.
You can believe it
better.
was longer before. So. But first off, as always, I always like to start with just thanking you and Faith and everyone who puts the effort and time into this budget. It's very important, and a lot of work goes into it. So thank you both for the presentation and for all the hard work and everyone that supports you. So appreciate that. So this is our comments by the board period. I say we just limit it to comments on whatever we just saw in the presentation on the budget, and let's not do the normal comments so we can speed up a little bit. So Scott, any?
So Amy, thank you. Faith, as always, thank you. And just to piggyback from Pete, but this, you said cybersecurity in the AP seminar. The first page said budget neutral, but then it said 7,000 for cybersecurity. So is it budget neutral, or?
The staffing is budget neutral.
Remember I talked about what we were buying to
those are
have
like
the
other
course?
supplies.
Right, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, yeah.
And I think another thing let's make sure, as always, as I always say, we have enough students participation in both classes before we go ahead further with the both classes. Obviously, even though it's
So
I love
every
the AP, I just want to make sure we can
Yes.
fill the classes
Yes,
as
and
always.
we are working at that. Again, when you have new classes, sometimes they do start off small, like our AP Environmental Science, but then they grow as students know about it. We believe these are important courses. We are registering students right now, and hopefully that they will fill up. And we have a keen eye on that, our guidance counselors and our administrators in our middle school and high school.
Thank you for the cameras, as you know. That's
Oh, yeah, that's
big
a thing. You too, yes.
Yeah, so you gave Pete all the credit for being on the
I'll
safety
give-
committee,
I'll
but
give you-
that's-
I'll give you some credits
but
for that,
Thank you,
too.
Faith,
Yeah.
for that. I know that's been a hard push, and
Yeah.
hopefully next year we can take that even further. As a safety committee, we're discussing possible, if we can do it, ballistic windows, either at the middle school or Cottle. But again, this is all going to be about the budget and what we can, I guess, afford as a district with
We have
that.
a very active safety committee,
Yeah,
and we appreciate that.
And last
Good
thing, so no
ideas.
BOCES on this budget as far as.
No
stu-
BOCES, but we still have, we have a student graduating where another student will be able to go in, so we still have access to it. We're hoping that with the new graduation requirements, that that there is a pathway that way, and I've been pushing at least, that districts get money for that. Because small districts like us, we don't have what other districts have already built into our budget. So and we're hearing that that's going to happen in her new budget, but we haven't gotten the governor's budget yet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goodman and Faith, for the budget presentation. Your thoughtful process. Oh, it's off? I was going to ask about enrollment because I do have the same. Okay. Is that good? Can you hear me now? Okay. So I was also going to ask about enrollment because we had to select our classes a few weeks ago, so just to make sure that we have enough enrollment to run those two courses or any of the new courses, just so that we're not, implementing things that maybe there's no interest in. The music club at Cottle is great, as Mr. Grosso had pointed out, to bring everybody together. I'm just wondering if there's any way in the schedule that we can do something similar in the high school, so that there's a time when everybody can, I know that is a complaint of the music department, that there's a time when they can't all practice together. So it would be nice if we could find a way to fit something into the schedule where they can, and also still, participate in their sports, because that's the problem that they have, is that the kids feel that they have to go to their sports practices and don't really have a chance to do music, which is why it would be great if we could fit into the regular schedule of the day. The strength and conditioning coach is interesting. I'm just wondering, did we have an interest meeting for the indoor track where we knew that kids were interested in it? Because I feel like we just took it away without really discussing.
I think it was because our track enrollment is so big. I mean, we had just started a few years ago, if you recall.
Right.
And from the start, we just found a whole bunch of kids that are really interested in it and looking at it even for college, and it's really like a lifelong sport if you think about it. So we just thought that, Mr. Calasano thought that would make the season whole for them, because usually a lot of the track kids, that's their main sport. So we could really keep them involved. That's where that came from. So it's not like we're pulling kids out of it. And we saw how important the conditioning piece was of it. So Faith and Andy worked together to come up with a way that we could do that, because that seemed to be, and I hear that from parents, and I've heard that from the board again, just trying to that would affect all our athletes. That would touch everybody.
Right. I just felt like the indoor track, like you said, did hit that group of kids and give them something to do. And plus also give everybody a different winter sport, because we're kind of limited on our
Right.
winter sports. And we did already have like Tuck Fit, and we did already have some sort of athletic.
Yeah, it wasn't, I feel like it wasn't, according to Ms. Calasano and some parents and the board too, really hitting, all the kids. And the kids really, really do appreciate the conditioning part of the program. But, so swap that out, just because it seems to, we heard it from our community, we heard it from most of the board, if there was a way we could do it. I was saying, as I sat here, no, I don't, it's just so expensive, and, and then, we just saw if we could, with that same limited amount of money, come up with a plan where we could get and hit all the athletes.
Okay. And I just want to point out to the community the importance of the Repair Reserve Fund. I know that Faith really spoke a lot about it, but it is really, really important. We even have repairs on tonight's agenda that, had we had this in place, we could have used that money towards. It's really important. It's at no cost to the taxpayers. It's simply just moving money from one savings account to another. And it's just so important that everybody pays attention to that fact and really understands what we're trying to do here.
That's it.
Improvise. Thanks. Great presentation. Once again, thank you, Dr. Goodman and Faith. So just to piggyback AP Security, course sounds great. I do hope that that gets a full class. And thank you for bringing more APs. Really, that was something when we first joined the board, was one of the goals was to add more APs. So thank you for that. I have a question about the UPK, that cost.
Oh,
Is
yes.
that was for support? And
Yes.
I'm just wondering, is that a reoccurring? Is that
Yeah.
just this year?
Yeah, just so that I could explain, it wasn't in the budget last year, so some of the things, that we found money for last year, they are new for this year, because they weren't on the budget. So when we brought the program to Cottle, what we realized is the incredible amount of support that we needed from our principal and assistant principal to really run that program in an effective way. So we're able to find some money in the budget, but we wanted to, it goes above and beyond what they do as a principal for a K-5 building. And I really believe that this year, again, it wasn't budgeted, but we found a way to pay for it, but I feel that, it needs to be a recurring cost in the budget. And this will build it in, and really that both of our school administrators in that building administrators have really, from not just the logistics of scheduling, which was hard enough, like when kids are leaving, and most parents at Cottle will have a student in a higher grade, but also a preschooler, and then some don't. From all of that to every day when teachers are absent, and to also making them a part of Cottle, which has been sort of like the best part of it. The staff development, Dr. Keogh, having our principals right there, making them part of the staff development that we do in Cottle, and making the kids part of the community. So when we're doing a special event at Cottle that's appropriate for them, they go. When the PTA brings in events to Cottle, our preschoolers can go. So this has been, it just is, I feel like this has been the best year for UPK because it's in Cottle and because we have our building administrators working in it. It's been exceptional. And believe me, there's been rocky times that they just handled and that I didn't handle. And
Yeah, it's great
so
fun.
it was great. So
And
I think it's so worth it.
Permanently, I think, right? They said in the budget? That
Yeah.
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 Okay, great. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Right.
And I also just, the strength and conditioning, that was a surprise to me also. I'm still not clear.
Okay.
So we're not doing indoor track, instead, it's sort of like, it's different to the Tuckahoe Fit in that there's a person there that's taking
You want
these-
to talk about how
Yeah,
we did it with Andy?
Yeah, so it's different than the Tuck Fit, so we won't continue Tuck Fit, and that will provide savings to close some of the gap from the funding. So, we really looked at the budget, and so it was really just, it's no budget increase, it's just a swap from the indoor track to this strength and conditioning.
And is
No
that-
extra budget. The
No
indoor
extra
track
budget,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're taking that. So
yeah,
the
yeah.
stipend, it would be a stipend then for someone who we have in-house that. has
Yeah,
that
but it would
ability?
be like seasonal
Seasonal.
for all the seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so every team, so to speak.
Yes.
Would
Yeah.
have and is this person certified, strength and conditioning?
Well, it would be, that would be the search, there would be
Okay.
criteria for it. So yeah, it would be certified. There's this, like
Yeah.
the staff we have now in Tuck Fit don't have the certification
That
that
was my
this
next
position
question.
would have.
Okay.
So this is like a posting of a job, basically. for
Oh, the
us.
stipend, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For additional, okay. So I think that's, then every student, and even if you're not on a team, can you benefit from them? Okay.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
All right, okay. And then thank you for the additional reading support, and I think that's a very important role. So, thank you. Those are my questions.
Do you want to go next? Nothing? Okay.
More, no, everyone said everything, so.
Yeah, I don't have any
Thank you,
particular,
great presentation.
yeah, I don't have any
Questions been answered.
questions, great budget. All the additions seem significant and impactful. I just wanted to just hammer down on that additional piece. And I know you guys already covered it, but I think it's important to highlight it is, you know, the last presentation, we were coming in a little bit under the tax levy cap. I'm usually a big fan of that. I know there's different philosophies on that. I always like to push back on going right to the cap if there's not a need to go right to the cap. I know some people feel like you should always go to the cap because you're leaving that money on the table. But I usually push back on that philosophy, but this year I'm very much in support of it because what we're getting out of that additional spend is a reading interventionist, which is very, very important. So that's a critical, important thing. So I'm all for going to the cap when we're getting something like that. And then also I do think, given the current economic situation and not knowing where things are going, it's a lot of volatility. It doesn't matter what side, how you feel about all that, whether you like it or not, it's volatile. So we don't know where we're going to be a year from now. So in volatile situations, it's always good to take a little more and be a little more conservative. So I'm very much in support of going to the tax cap. So, and I also did want to highlight, like Allison did, how much of a no-brainer it is for this
Transfer.
the budget transfer that's going to that ballot. It's very important for people to realize and say over and over again, it's not actually a spend. It's just moving money from one
And it's a
savings.
yes or no.
It's
Yeah,
really
yes or no.
important because it will be on the budget, when you vote. And when people see that, they don't always read the fine print.
Yeah.
So we keep,
It
we're
looks
going
like
to
it's more
hammer it.
money,
I
yeah.
sent a letter to all the parents to explain that. I'll put it in the happenings too, but I had sent a separate letter. Keep on reminding, because people
How
could
is it
vote no.
worded on the ballot? That is my.
It's worded, shall the voters approve a transfer from the unappropriated fund balance to, it's longer, but it's worded like that.
But you kind of have to read it.
It doesn't say that there's no tax impact, but, you know, we are working on a frequently asked questions that we'll put on our website along with some other budget documents that are very comprehensive that will really explain it.
And we have to
it's a
use the
transfer.
language that the state makes us
Yeah.
use. So we're trying to use the language everybody understands in letters, but on that, and in these presentations, so that people understand there is
Can you
no.
boldface and underline the word transfer?
I just have a quick, on that, when you do transfer into that fund, Faith, is that monies when you're going to use it? So for example, the steam pipes need repairs or the boiler, is that something that the community knows? I mean,
Yes.
it's very transparent. We're putting the money, it's like a savings account, putting it into this account, so then you can, accounting-wise, use that, and it's sort of, it's easier for you to budget. It's
Yes.
basically a budget type of thing.
So to use the funds, there has to be a public hearing. I think it's within 15 days of the use of the funds. So there would be a public hearing, and then we can use the funds. In the event of an emergency, we can use the funds, but if we don't hold the public hearing, we have to pay the funds back, and there's a certain amount of time that you can pay the funds back to the reserve. But just in going through, we're going to be doing our building condition survey. So just in going through our last one, you know, we've identified some needs that we know could probably need to be addressed
Right.
fairly soon that, you know, can't wait for a capital project and, you know, shouldn't be in the operating budget.
Got it. Thank you.
That's all I had. So, okay, so we can move on. Anybody else? Good? No? All right, good. All right, so next up on our agenda is comments by the PTA. Mike has to be on.
Right press. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So I hope everybody had a great spring break. Lots going on towards the end of the year from the PTA. One thing I wanted to mention, last month our Earth Day event took place. It was very successful. We were really excited about it. It took place down at Cottle. We collected lots of pounds of used textiles, and a company called Helpsy took it away, and based on the pounds, we earned $60. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but still, as this event grows and people start bringing their used textiles, maybe we can make a little bit more. But there was a swap, clothing swap. There were activities for the kids, a lot of learning about how to be sustainable. So really successful event. That was put on by our brand new Environment and Sustainability Committee, so really proud of that. Next Friday night is our spring social. I hope that everybody will come. It's at Waikagill this year. Tickets are at tuckahopta.com, so you can go there, and it's the top story on our website, so you can buy tickets. We have a lot of great prizes. This year, we're also going to have an online auction going on at the same time for a certain number of the prizes, because we found in the past, if you're not at the event, you don't get to take advantage of these, right? So there are certain ones that there will be some competition from people at the event as well as people who are not. So in case you can't make it, but you still want to support, we'll be sending out that online auction link. I also want to say the PTA scholarships this year, we received a record 32 applications, which is so exciting. It's going to be really hard. I feel for the committee that is going to have to make really tough decisions. We have 10 $1,000 scholarships, so that they are working hard on that now. And I just do want to give a shout out to Mrs. Nicoletos, because she makes all the applications blind so that the process can be really fair. And that's a lot of applications. I think in the past we've gotten more like 15 or 16, so we got more than double this year. This date is not confirmed yet, but I do want to put it out to the community that the Board of Education Candidate Forum that the PTA facilitates. We get a moderator from the League of Women Voters. I'm talking with them now. Hopefully, they will be available on Monday, May 12th. There are so many events on the calendar between the Tuckahoe Theater Works Cabaret and Cuddle band concerts and everything. It looks like Monday the 12th might be the only day. So again, not confirmed, could change, but I just kind of wanted to put it out there to the community because that is going to be a very important forum. Our Cuddle Boutique is next week, the 28th through May 2nd. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up the following week from May 5th to the 9th. We also have on May 7th a special event here in the library, a woman named Dr. Joanna Robin. She is a psychologist who's going to be talking about the idea of letting kids fail. We all have a hard time letting them do that, but it's very important, and she's going to be talking about how parents can achieve that to our kids' benefit. Let them fail, let them make mistakes, it'll make them more resilient. PTA Dance Recital is on the 18th. We also have a Healthy Eating for Teens webinar coming up on May 19th. And my final thing, we will be voting on our next slate at the next PTA meeting, our slate of co-chairs for next year. We are still looking for people for our communications committee. It's a tricky committee because it's so important. We have 3 people now who are cycling off. We have a couple people interested, but we are still looking for more people. So if you have expertise in social media, or if you do corporate communications, internal communications, throw your hat in, let us know. We're really interested in having the support. So anyway, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've given back to the school district. The PTA has given a lot of grants this year, and in the last 3 years, you guys have really, really supported the district in a whole different way other than your programs. And I really encourage everyone in the community to please go to the Spring Social. It is their biggest fundraiser where all of this money that supports the district in a really significant way is earned. So good luck at it. I will be there. And thanks.
Yeah, well said, Allison. Thank you. Yes.
Right, and if you can't go, donate.
Yeah, look up, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea, by the way,
Just
the
send
online
money.
auction. That's smart.
Fine.
Yeah. All right, so moving along, next up is our first recommendation of the audience. This is for agenda items only. If anyone has anything they want to say about an agenda item? Yep. You just keep your comments to 3 minutes if you don't mind. Thank you.
You've got it, no problem. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Mike McGlynn. I'm the proud father of a Cottle third grader and an incoming kindergartner. First and foremost, want to thank the board and the district staff, Dr. Goodman, for all that you do for our district and for our kids and for our community. And I see that we're on the verge of potentially having a new superintendent, so many thanks to the board members for all the effort you put into the search. I know it's not easy, but on behalf of all the parents, we all appreciate that. Wanted to keep my comments related to the district calendar, which is on the agenda tonight. I've spoken to other parents in the Cottle community, district community, and it seems like there's often delays in the release of that calendar every year. It certainly seems like other district calendars are out there in the local area before ours are. And for those of us that are planning for childcare and vacations and things like that, and at this point only being about 4.5 months before the start of the year, it makes it a bit challenging. So it wouldn't normally be as much of an issue, but we do notice that from year to year, the calendar is far from stable, right? Depending on where holidays fall and such, it's really hard for us to even predict where the calendar might end up. So just making a pledge or a request that we may try to find ways to get that calendar out sooner on an annual basis. And looking at the draft calendar that's on the agenda tonight, there are even some examples of ways to continue that stability. I noticed for what seems to be the first time, the day after Easter and the Friday of Memorial Day weekend are no longer holidays. It looks like they're going to be school days. And at the same time, school's not starting until that Thursday or Friday after Labor Day. So again, maybe there are ways we could try to continue stability by keeping those days on the calendar. Most of all, just getting the calendar out earlier, and again, trying to have as much stability year to year would be something I know I'd appreciate, as well as many members of the community there. So that's it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Seth?
I think this is red, so I'm good. Seth Mirren, also parent of a kindergartner and a third grader at Cottle. I'll keep it brief because I know we have a lot on the agenda and lots of excitement ahead. Just first wanted to echo board thanks for the budget presentation. I thought it was really clear, insightful. And Laura, I appreciated your question about elevating the question about UPK. Dr. Goodman and others may remember I came early last year and said that I just thought with the new provider that we had last year, there were a lot of opportunities for improvement in the UPK program. And what I have heard with this year's UPK program is that it really, with that shift in provider and putting it in Cottle, has really improved, including folks who had UPK students last year and then this year. So they're sort of the best testament to those improvements. And so I just think it's really smart in a way that is financially sustainable, financially responsible, but we get a really great return on the investment. So appreciate that. Oh, and I think the last thing I would say is just we are one of the only districts that around here that offers it, and I think it is a real value add to the community and to families. And I think it's something that the community should really recognize, the district and this board for investing in. So just gratitude for that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Beth?
Hi, Beth Silvestri, 11 Gifford Street. On behalf of the council, I would like to thank Dr. Goodman for your support and to welcome Mr. Roberts. We look forward to your partnership. I do have questions about the budget. Thank you so much for the reading interventionists at Cottle. It truly just is a full circle moment and really is really necessary. My hope is that this person is certified on various reading strategies. If I can plant one seed for the future, it's that all kindergarten and first graders are screened at Cottle by a reading certified person. Okay, that would be the ultimate goal here. Making, failure not an option here. And this might be a really long question, and you can just tell me, Pete, to take it offline, but busing. I look at that pie chart every single year, and it consumes, a big chunk of the budget is busing. Why are we busing kids from Pine Circle, Ridge? Why, so close to home? So, yeah. And we can totally take it offline if you would rather, because I know it's probably part of a huge discussion.
Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
I don't want to do like a back and forth.
Yeah.
But
No.
Faith, do you have anything you want to say about that? Or I know that it's been something we talked about in the past, microphone's on. But in terms of fragmenting one piece, I mean, do you want to say anything about that?
So a number of years ago, when the board went from the 8 buses to the 5s and we did the loop system, it was a significant savings. And now, we'd really have to look at routes because some of these buses, while they're picking up really close to the school, are also doing runs that we would still have to do. So it's really something that would have to be
Got it.
looked at on a
Got
deeper
it.
level.
I just think the times have changed,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people are working from home now. I would love to see an evaluation of how useful the buses are, right, in the future.
Fair point.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Beth. Okay. Anyone else? All right, we can move on to our consent agenda. Resolved that the Board of Education approves consent agenda items 2 through 9. Do I have a motion? Perez, second. Laura, any discussion on these items? All in favor? All right, that brings us to business of the board. First item is our most exciting item of the night, which is to appoint our new superintendent. So just want to pause here for a minute because this is actually really, really important and very exciting. First off, I want to thank my fellow board members for the immense amount of work that went into this search process, especially Allison and Scott for leading the search. A lot of work went into it, but we all put a lot of time and effort into it, so I want to thank everyone for that. And, this is really important, and we're really excited about it. So I wanted to introduce Benjamin Roberts. So on behalf of the Board of Education, it's my honor to introduce the next superintendent of the Tuckahoe District, Mr. Benjamin Roberts. After an extensive and highly competitive search process, we were able to identify some really high caliber candidates. Among them, Mr. Roberts stood out for his exceptional experience, thoughtful vision, and inspiring leadership presence. He brings more than 2 decades of experience in public education, including 6 years as a central office leader in Freeport, where he currently serves as assistant superintendent for personnel and special projects. He worked closely with the superintendent and the board there to oversee the initiatives impacting more than 6,800 students and 1,200 staff members, earning tenure in his role and receiving the Scope Award for Outstanding Administrative Services in 2023. Mr. Roberts is not only a proven leader, but also a collaborative communicator with deep experience in personnel management, labor negotiations, school safety planning, curriculum implementation, and creating supportive school environments for students and staff alike. We are excited to welcome Ben and his family to Tuckahoe and are confident in his ability to help our district continue on its strong upward trajectory. We believe in his leadership. We believe his leadership will further strengthen our commitment to excellence and innovation for all students. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Benjamin Roberts as the new superintendent of Tuckahoe Union Free School District. Ben, did you want to say anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you to President Castanet, to the board, and Dr. Goodman, obviously, for your leadership as well. It's a tremendous honor to be here before the board tonight and awaiting your approval momentarily, hopefully. To be here at Tuckahoe, to walk around the campus today, to be as the next superintendent, to see the wide-reaching community support is truly an honor and a blessing, something that I'll hold true to my heart to provide the guidance and leadership for the district into the future. In addition to today's meeting with not only a very comprehensive board budget meeting, which I've greatly appreciated, and the plan
I'm sure
that
your students loved it.
I'm sure they did, yes. But I've had the privilege of watching from afar, watching the development and the board, so thank you to Dr. Goodman and team and the board's vision for this upcoming year. And in addition to the tremendous students you had and their accomplishments, that's what the budget's all about, is giving them outstanding opportunities and programs that support all of their needs. So today's meeting really means a lot to me to be here, not only to be on the agenda with the board's consideration to be your next leader, but it's just truly humbling to be a part of the school community, which I look forward to being a part of all of the activities of the PTA and as well all of the school activities with the students. Really excited about July 1st and the upcoming opportunities it provides. Thank you.
Well, we're excited to have you. And just to your family, I mean, you should be very proud of Ben because this was a tough process. It really was grueling, and there were a lot of good candidates. More good candidates than we expected, quite frankly. So the fact that he rose to the top really says a lot about him. So you should be very proud. I'm sure you are. And we're excited to have you. But don't go anywhere yet. We have some swag for you.
Should be good.
Get some Tuckahoe swag. You can drive home with it. Put it on the way home. You also? Shall we have some? You guys sat through that budget presentation. You deserve a gift.
We're proud. I just want to say one thing. I also want to thank the administrative team, Cottle, obviously Tuckahoe High School Middle School, for being part of the final process. And your input was valued. So thank you. And Ben, welcome. Please look forward to your next chapter here at Tuckahoe. Definitely.
Right.
And Faith. Sorry, Faith.
Always faith.
Shall we do the honors?
Yes, let's make it official. All right, resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints and employs Mr. Benjamin Roberts as Superintendent of Schools for the period of July 1, 2025 to July 30, 2028, and further approves the employment agreement dated April 22, 2025, setting forth the terms and conditions of such appointment and employment. Do I have a motion? Therese? Laura? All in favor? All right, congratulations. All right. So we do have a little more business. We'll get to this as fast as we can. Next up, we have a couple of policies that we have to read, and actually two that we're adopting and two first readings, right? Yes, okay. So first up, we're adopting policy 1240, visitors to the school. This is, again, we're not going to read the whole policy. You can go on Board Docs and read it. We've already read it twice, but essentially this was a policy change that we made, the policy committee made in the interest of security and students and staff for food delivery service employees and drivers, included but not limited to Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and other food establishment delivery services, which will not be permitted inside the district buildings during instructional hours without prior approval from the school administrator. The purpose of such restriction is to limit the security risk associated with delivery service employees entering the school buildings without following proper visitation procedures and entering and exiting the school buildings. So that change to that policy was to address food deliveries, okay? So we can go ahead and vote on it. Do I have a motion? Therese? Second, Scott? All in favor? All right, great. Next up was adopt the policy 0111, sexual harassment grievance under Title IX. Again, this is changes that were made, that we had to make via some changes to law. So this is sort of just driven by law, so nothing really to discuss there. So resolved that the Board of Education adopts policy 0111, sexual harassment grievances under Title IX, as attached to the official minutes of this meeting. Do I have a motion? Allison, second. Laura, all in favor? Okay, next up, we have first reading of policy 5605, voter registration for students. This, again, was also being driven by some legislation that's requiring us, which I think is a great idea anyway, to update, to create a policy where we offer students the ability to register to vote ahead of turning 18. So this is something, this is not a policy we already had, right? This is, oh, we did have it already?
Yeah.
Just a revision, okay. So, what's the change in the revision? These changes, what's exactly the change then?
There's specific wording about it's not required, it's not part of a grade, you know, it can't be held against the students, and it talks more about availability. So we had most of it, but just to be in compliance with the law, there was some minor changes we had to make to our policy.
Okay, all right, so that was just the first reading of that. It's available on Board Docs if you want to read it, so we're not going to vote on that today. And also, first reading of policy 5420 and 5420R, student health services. This amendment, this amends and revises the board policy 5420, student health services, updated with language and health services applicable to students by law. So that, again, also is available on Board Docs. We're not gonna read that. You can take a look at that. We'll read both of those policies, or talk about them two more times, and then we'll adopt them. Okay, next up is another very important item on the agenda today, which is to adopt the board adoption of the 2025-2026 budget. So resolve the board at the Tuckahoe Union Free School District, resolve that the Board of Education What am I reading here? Okay. Resolved that Tuckahoe Union Free School District's 2025-2026 proposed budget be set at $44,022,385, and that this proposed budget be voted on by the community at the annual meeting on May 20th, 2025, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on this? We discussed this already, so I don't think there is any discussion on that. All in favor? Okay. Approve a property tax report card. Resolves the Board of Education of Tuckahoe Union Free School District approve the property tax report card for the 2025-2026 school year and authorize the business manager to submit it to the State Education Department. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on this? All in favor? And adopt the 2025-2026 district calendar. Resolved that the Board of Education of Tuckahoe Union Free School District adopt the 2025-2026 school district calendar. Do I have a motion for that? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion there?
Yeah, just real-
Yep. Go ahead.
So we're not getting the Friday off before Memorial Day? Because I know if we don't use a snow day, we usually get it, right?
We can give it back if we don't use the snow day, and since the snow days can be remote, it counts as a day. So we do have an agreement with the teachers union that the first one is a home one. That might be something that we might want to use to get that day back and have some kind of an agreement, but I leave that to you. And maybe it won't snow. Yeah,
That's a big weekend here, so
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
exactly. So
And-
you
and
might
what-
want
and the Monday after
to already
Easter,
start
what is-
talking to the teachers unit.
And the
Okay.
same thing with the Monday after Easter?
Yeah.
That's changed as well.
That's changed this year because it all depends on, so in the teacher's contract, we have to start after Labor Day, and we do sometimes they'll agree with us that we can, but we have to have an agreement from the teachers union. And it all depends on when Labor Day falls and all that. So for that gentleman that asked
So it's something
for,
that we could still work on that's fluid, having the Easter Monday off.
it would
essentially,
be
which is an
something
important
to work
holiday.
on again. Every year is different.
Right.
It all depends on, again, where Labor Day falls, where holidays fall, and because of the teacher's contract, we do have to work around that, and they have a vote on that because of when school can start. A lot of districts have that, but it would be something you might want to negotiate and, do side letters for or whatever, so. The board seems interested in
I feel
that.
like this is
Everything
gonna-
that comes, I'm just going to say, you have a new superintendent coming on.
So I
Yeah.
did just want to say that I do agree that the calendar did come out late
It
this
did.
year. I was looking myself to make travel plans, and it is significantly
Yes.
later. Usually our district does do March, but a lot of districts do February.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to make sure that it gets out there
Yeah,
earlier.
I think
'cause
that
this
we
is
should
super
do
late.
it. I agree with
This
you.
has been something, because I remember before I was on the board, coming up to the mic with similar
Right.
concerns and questions, and I think at that time, the superintendent explained to me that it wasn't something that the superintendent or the board could decide on, it had to be negotiated with the teachers union.
Yeah, but we could negotiate it
That's not an
sooner
easy
and all of that.
Yeah,
It's
but I'm
not,
saying it's
it's
not
not,
just like
it's
our
some things
decision.
you negotiate on just because of when school can start for teachers. If they're going to come in August, that is the negotiation that you have with them. And sometimes they don't want to come in before Labor Day. So that's the only piece of it, but I do think that the calendar can come out. I take responsibility for that, and I think it should have come out earlier, and it's my responsibility, so I'm sorry about that.
Right. No, I was just saying to
No,
explain the
no.
process.
But
That
the
was my
process, there
point.
is a teacher union process because of their contract that makes it a little hard. We have more days if teachers come in for staff development before Labor Day. Now, there are some then we start school earlier. But we also have parents in the community that say, wait, I want my Labor Day vacation. So we sometimes can't please everybody too, but we do our best to do that. Because we have started school before Labor Day, and we've had a few parents that were like, wait, my kid's not coming, and you must come, by the way, but, so, it's always tricky. We'll do our best, and it definitely should be out earlier next year. It will be.
All right. I don't think we voted for it, did we? No.
I'll vote for the calendar.
Did we vote? We didn't vote, did we? All in favor?
Oh, sorry.
All right, good.
Okay.
Okay, next up, approve a budget transfers. Resolved that the Board of Education approves the budget transfer as per the attached. So I don't have that written here, so budget transfer, we've all seen it. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Laura, any discussion on that? All in favor? Next up,
So,
amend,
wait,
sorry?
really quick. I just want to say thank you to Faith. This is part of our new budget transfer policy. This is our first budget transfer that the board had to approve, and
Yeah.
it's a public attachment that you could have looked at before to see where the funds are being transferred from. But thank you for agreeing to it and for doing it.
Amend a resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education amends Resolution F.5 from the October 28, 2024 meeting for the contract with Royal Coach, increasing the not-to-exceed amount from $17,000 to $30,000. Do I have a motion? Allison, second. Laura? Faith, did you want to give an explanation on that one?
Sure. This is a contract we have with Royal Coach through Ardsley School District, and it is consortium busing. So the pricing is based on other districts and how many kids we all have on the bus. So at the start of the year, the ridership was at one point where it would cost us $17,000. It's now going to be a cost of $30,000. However, when we compare this to what we would pay for our BEPT consortium, it would have been $90,000. So even though it's going up, it's still a significant savings for this transportation.
All right. All in favor? All right. Next up is award a capital project bid. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the district's construction manager, the board hereby awards the contract for plumbing construction work for the district's capital improvement project related to the high school roof and tunnel renovations to Freeman Mechanical Incorporated in the amount of $1,800,000, subject to execution of a contract by Freeman Mechanical Incorporated in a form approved by the district superintendent and legal counsel, and the provision by Freeman Mechanical Incorporated of all required documents. Do I have a motion? Laura, second. Scott, any discussion on this? All in favor? Okay. Approve a transportation services agreement. Resolved that the Board of Education approves Saddle River Tours LLC for transportation services for the NYSPHSA Varsity Boys Basketball State Championship in the event in the amount not to exceed $7,400. Do I have a motion? Therese? Second, Scott. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Next, approve a transportation services agreement. Resolved, the Board of Education approves Saddle River Tours LLC for transportation services for, how can I say that better? What is this?
NIFSA.
NIFSA?
Yeah.
Varsity Girls Basketball State Championship event at an amount not to exceed $7,400. Do I have a motion? Therese, second, Scott. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Approve professional development services agreement. Resolved, the Board of Education approves Prana Yoga Studio for professional development services at an amount not to exceed $750. Do you have a motion? Therese, second, Laura. Any discussion there? All in favor? Approve a legal notice. Resolved, the Board of Education approves the legal notice as attached to the official minutes of this meeting for the May 20, 2025 budget vote and trustee election. Do I have a motion? Therese. Second. Scott, all in favor? Adopt Southwest BOCES 2025-2026 administrative budget. Resolved that the Board of Education of Tuckahoe Union Free School District adopts the 2025-2026 proposed administrative budget for the Southern Westchester Board of Cooperative Educational Services in the amount of $13,672,215. Do I have a motion? Therese, second, Laura. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Next up, approve a Southern Westchester BOCES trustees. Resolve the Board of Education of Tuckahoe Union Free School District cast one vote each for Lynn Fraser McBride, Joan Weber, and Robert Johnson to serve as trustees on the Southern Westchester Board of Cooperative Educational Services for the time period of July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2028. Do you have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on this? All in favor?
Are these the only board members?
These are the only nominees, yes. Yes. Yes, not much of a choice. Did you get all in favor? All in favor? Appoint an election chairperson. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints Peter Casson as election chairperson for for the May 20th, 2025 annual budget vote and election. You can thank me all later that I fell on the sword for that one. Do you have a motion? Scott, second. Laura, all in favor? All right. Got me a cup of coffee. Appoint an election inspector. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints Robin Dunn as election inspector for the May 20, 2025 election at no additional compensation. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on that? All in favor? Thank you, Robin. Appoint an acting district clerk. Resolved that the Board of Education appoints Faith Sparks as acting district clerk for the May 20, 2025 election at no additional compensation. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on that? All in favor? Okay. Approve election inspectors. Resolved that the Board of Education approves 2 head inspectors at $15 per hour and 8 inspectors at $14 per hour from the Westchester County maintained list of election inspectors for the May 20, 2025 annual budget vote and election. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, all in favor? All right. Approve a cooperative purchasing contracts. Whereas Ed Data is a shared services organization located in the state of New Jersey, and whereas Ed Data offers cooperative procurement solutions to public sector organizations throughout New York State, and whereas Tuckahoe Union Free School District desires to use Ed Data time and materials cooperative purchasing contracts to contract with the following vendors A through X. Do I have a motion? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not reading A through X. Yeah, I got it. And be it resolved that the Board of Education of Tuckahoe Union Free School District hereby approves the use of these vendors through Ed Data for services stated above for the term of April 1, 2025 through April 1, 2026. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Laura, any discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, now we have some donations. Accept the donation. Whereas the Tuckahoe Union Free School District has been informed of a donation to be made to the district from the July family, and whereas the district would like to accept such a donation, it is hereby resolved to accept a donation from the July family for the March Madness district-wide fundraiser donated to the Cottle Geo in the amount of $300. Do I have a motion? Therese, second. Allison, any discussion on this? Thank you to the July family. This came out of a great event too. The March Madness was a really fun event. I got to watch some of it. I almost participated myself, but I didn't want to pull a hammy or anything, so I didn't do that. But it was a great event, and the July family did do a lot to get that going along with the athletic council. So thank you to them. All in favor? Accept another donation. Whereas the Tuckahoe Union Free School District has been informed of a donation to be made to the district from an anonymous donor, and whereas the district would like to accept such a donation, it is hereby resolved to accept the donation from the anonymous donor for the varsity baseball team to purchase equipment in the amount of $2,500. Do I have a motion? Yes, second. Allison, any discussion on this? Well, thank you very much to this anonymous donor. Very generous, and I'm sure it'll be put to good use by Mr. Colaswano and the baseball team. So thank you very much for that, whoever you are. All in favor? Another donation. Whereas the Tuckahoe Union Free School District has been informed of a donation to be made to the district from the Tuckahoe PTA, and whereas the district would like to accept such a donation, it is hereby resolved to accept the donation from the Tuckahoe PTA for the 4th grade class trip to Phillipsburg Manor in the spring 2025 in the amount of $728. Do I have a motion? Allison, second? Second? Laura? Thank you very much to the PTA. All in favor? And lastly, another donation, whereas the Tuckahoe Union Free School District has been informed of a donation to be made to the district from the Tuckahoe Athletic Council, and whereas the district would like to accept such a donation, it is hereby resolved to accept a donation from the Tuckahoe Athletic Council for the Cottle's Paws Committee to assist the organization, to assist in organizing the Wizards game by recruiting players and volunteers in the amount of $1,000. Do you have a motion? Therese. Thank you. Scott? Any discussion on this? Thanks again to the Tuckahoe Athletic Council and for all those that participated in the Wizards game. That was another great event as well. All in favor? All right. And lastly, personnel recommendations. Resolved that the Board of Education approves personnel recommendations A through L. Do you have a motion? Rez, second. Laura? Any discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, and that brings us to our second recognition of the audience for any item at all.
everyone. I'm Susan Mealy. Yes, this is on. I'm Susan Mealy, live in Chester Heights. I'm up here just simply to thank you guys because I think you guys really deserve a shout out for, in particular, the superintendent search. Welcome, congratulations. I think it's not common knowledge that it takes a lot of time on behalf of the board to find a superintendent. And some of you have done this twice. And you also, feel free to pat yourselves on the back. And some of you have also been through 2 bond proposals and many other things. And let it be known that you're all volunteers. So I just felt the need to get up here and say, like, hey, thank you for your service. And the fact that you guys do all this means that we don't have to. So we should all be very, very grateful, and everyone should extend their thanks to you. We appreciate your taking this so seriously and putting so much time into this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we can adjourn. Have a motion to adjourn? Therese, second. Allison, all in favor? All right, great night. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.